So a lot of the conversations has been to the fact that, oh, nothing has happened. And that the Mahama administration is just benefiting from the impact of policy lag. Because anybody who has the benefit of economics and is steady will tell you that government policies do not have its impact immediately. So there's always, even if you are running a regression analysis based on impact assessment, you'd want to look at the possible effect of policy lag, in the sense that with this implementation of policy, what time would the impact begin to reflect in the lives of people? And so the view has been expressed that the Mahama administration is just benefiting from what has happened previously. And I think we need to put that in proper perspective. That cannot be the case, because you would notice that President John Dramani Mahama, in his first budget read around March, April, laid certain key fundamentals. One, meeting our external partners to conclude some of the debt restructuring agreements. Those were very strategic. The net effect of that is to free capital, to free funds for internal projects. Roland, it's instructive to make this point, that there had been some innovation introduced by this administration, in the sense that, look, we have used the model, cocoa board model, for many years ago, right from the PNDC time when the Cocoa Board Act was put together, until, under the watch of President John Dramani Mahama, the establishment of Gold Board by the Gold Board Act. That singular intervention, what it has done is to aggregate the sale of gold in the country, which has never happened before. Because in the past, people were just buying and selling their gold on their own. But you know, in this country, you cannot carry a bag of cocoa and say, I'm going to sell by myself. No, you have to channel it through Cocoa Board. It is that same initiative that this government has put together through Gold Board. Today, by reason only of Gold Board and the fantastic work that my brother Sami Jemfi is doing at that outfit, we've gotten more into the reserves that we have today than ever seen. In fact, we have doubled our reserve as today. What we have always been known to is the PMMC model. But this government has to do a drastic policy intervention using the Gold Board. That has never happened. And that alone had provided the needed buffer. Have you asked yourself why by 2017, April, we had to fall on Franklin Templeton to give us the 2.25 billion, bonds, to provide the initial shocks, the shock absorbers for the cedi. Fast forward from 2017, we were doing annually, averagely, $2 billion of Eurobond. There was a time in this country when we had to do Kenke Party, Wache Party.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
To welcome Eurobonds. There was a time in this country. Have you asked yourself, why in 10 solid months, no Eurobond, but the economy is moving? Have you asked yourself? That is innovation. That is thinking outside the box. We have never had that kind of leadership in the past, in the last 8 years. That transformational leadership anchored on the leadership of Atoforsin, the governor, is what has brought the fruits that we are seeing.
Well, it's been criticized by the minority who say that the good for oil policy started by
the good for oil? Please. Where I sit and where I work,
it's just a variant.
I know what good for oil was doing. I don't want to go there. Please. We are still paying for it today. Yes. I don't even want to,
go for oil policy.
Please, I beg you. We are looking at practical solutions. Gold Board. just by reason of aggregating all your gold seal in an entity. Look at how much we have gotten. And in the past, anytime they needed to buy gold, it goes and never comes back. this time around, government itself is the one buying, like the cocoa board model. So once you buy and you go and sell, the foreign exchange retention comes straight into the country. And it no longer, gets out
so
there
that is
and
providing
never
the buffer?
That is what has provided the stimulus, the buffer. In the past, the Ghanaian cedi was on performance enhancing drug, Eurobond. And so in the space of 6 years, we've done $11 billion of Eurobond. It has been almost a year, no Eurobond, and the economy is doing so well. Now, let me come back to the critical issues. And I want to tell my good people in Aflao, in this 2026 budget, is the market for Aflao, and it will feature prominently. You are also aware that the road from Ho through Avedakpa right to Aflao is under the big push. I don't know if you know this place. From Navrongo to Chana, to Katu to right to Sisala, into the Sisala zone, into Wa. That road was so terrible. President Mahama had put it under big push. And once that road gets worked on, what it means is that it will cut travel time from Bolgatanga right to Wa, which is a good thing that we all need to applaud. I am so happy that when President Mahama took over, unlike what Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo did in 2017, where road projects that were under Cocoa Roads, Akufo-Addo said he was going to institute an audit. And for 6 months, 1 year, those road projects were left to deteriorate. President Mahama is not saying that. What he's saying is that contractor, do your work. If there's a need for any audit, the audit will go together. The two.
Alongside the work.
In fact, you can chew corn and still walk. So you get to do the work, or you get to do the work whilst we do that. Because you see, it turned out that when Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo asked that they halt those projects to do the audit into the Cocoa Road, by the time we came back to those projects, the costs had doubled. President Mahama doesn't want to be caught up in that trap. So today, Winneba, Kaswa to Winneba Road is going on. The road project from Pokwase to Insawam is going on. The Community 25 to, Central University is also ongoing. So the motorway is also ongoing. So that is the kind of...
And then they intend to build a new road altogether to Kumasi.
I want to conclude on that. The whole idea that the president can sit down and think through and say, look, we need a new expressway. In fact, let me say this. I remember meeting the roads minister in a private conversation. I said, Honorable, finish the existing one. He said, look, we can still do that. But this is going to be a unique expressway, Greenbelt, fresh road that we want to do. And we believe that we have the capacity to do that. And once we are done, you only tow it and it will pay back the financial resources that will be pumped into that.
So it's a straight highway.
Expressway. In fact, that's how they call it.
Expressway.
Expressway from Accra to Kumasi. But you see, there's something unique about the leadership. Yes, I will. There's something unique about the leadership of President Mahama. We have never thought of building railway line to connect the East. Until President Mahama, in his vision for a multimodal transport system, decided to do the Accra to Tema to Mpakadan Railway. It's good President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo continued it, but that was a vision, because it is the Gordonsburg Railway system that has stayed with us till now. Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi, that's all. It's curious that a country that is on retirement, we passed 60 years, correct? A country that is on retirement, our northern communities do not have the benefit of railway. How so? If you go to Kenya, Mombasa, has one of the best railway infrastructure. We can equally do same because it's just about 600 kilometers. We have the capacity to do that. For me, that is what I believe that the next stage of the NDC administration should be looking at. Connecting the northern communities to rail infrastructure. And once you do that, the benefit usually is that you even save the lifespan of our road. I want to conclude on this. Galamsey, Galamsey, Galamsey. President John Dramani Mahama, to further demonstrate his commitment to the fight against these environmental terrorists, the 2026 budget has in it 150 million Ghana cedis allocation for the activities of NIMOS. That for me is significant. It appears we are not talking about it. Today, in the budget statement, it's an allocation of 400 million Ghana cedis for the Women Development Bank. What it tells you is that the specific campaign promises made in the 2024 election, which reflect our social contract with the people of this country, is beginning to yield benefit. Finally, the almighty COVID-19 levy. The almighty COVID-19 levy.
It's been removed.
Look, this is a government that
an MP said it hasn't been.
Please. I think the people of Trobo deserve better. I want to make this point finally on this. Very well. Sorry. My chance. My chance. I want to say this finally. Is that, look, this levy would have given government of Ghana 3.6 billion Ghana cedis. 3.6 billion Ghana cedis. But government of Ghana says, President Dramani Mahama is saying that anytime you go to that restaurant and you buy anything, that COVID-19 levy on it, he's keeping it in your pocket. That is how you take money back. So 3.6 billion Ghana cedi that government of Ghana would have gotten from that tax, government of Ghana says, let that money stay in the pockets of the ordinary Ghanaian. As for the agri sector, and and all the infrastructure project, energy sector, we are building state-of-the-art thermal plants to be owned by government of Ghana, over 1,000 megawatts of power. I think this is how transformative the budget statement is of this.
So at the end of the day, the other sectors of the economy would have to feed into what allocations are made for education.